What's up, guys? It's Kyle again with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today we're going to be talking about a modern traditional slip joint, the Civivi Rustic Gent. Stay tuned. Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be talking about a modern traditional. This is a knife that I've actually been looking for not very long time. But I wanted a modern traditional knife, and it was like Civivi crawled into my head and said, this knife we're going to make for Kyle. And so I was like, wow, when I found this knife, I really, really liked it, picked it up, and it's a great one. This is Civivi, which is the budget brand to WE knives, which I say budget brand because their prices are lower, but the quality of Civivi knives are absolutely wonderful. This knife does come in a couple of different figurations. This particular one they all come with a carbon fiber bolster, and then you can get your pick of black G10, which is what this one is in, black micarta, a brown micarta, and a green micarta. Now, if I had my choice, I probably would have picked the black micarta, but they didn't have one, and I wanted this knife so bad, I went ahead and bought one with the black G10, and I'm glad I did because I really, really like it. Has a really good texture to it, and like I said, all of them come with the carbon fiber bolster, and that looks wonderful. It is a lockback. It does have a half stop, and it has the big nail nick that almost looks like a fuller there, and this awesome blade shape. I love this thing, which it is, it looks like a traditional knife. You can, however, open this thing one-handed by just rolling it out like that, and it makes for a good EDC knife if you like this particular kind of traditional style knife. One thing I also wanted in a traditional knife was a way to carry it without just throwing it in my pocket. I think pocket clips on these kind of knives are not exactly great because, it kind of takes away the look of traditional knives, but this one comes in a really cool Civivi branded leather pouch that does have a pocket clip on it. So I was like, man, they just keep getting better. So it's why I bought it. This thing fits in here, and then you can clip this into your pocket and you're good to go. Now, problem is that getting it out when it's in your pocket is not exactly the easiest thing in the world. But what I plan on doing, and you guys have not seen any lanyards on any other knives because I'm just not a big lanyard guy, but this one's going to get a lanyard. You can see it has the hidden lanyard hole here, so it doesn't take away from the aesthetics of the knife. And I'm going to put a lanyard on it to slip this in and make it easier to come in and out of the pocket. And I think it's going to work out really, really great. This knife is actually not small. It's relatively a big knife, and you guys know I like big knives. As far as a traditional knife is concerned, we'll go ahead and see what it looks like against the Spyderco Paramilitary 2, which makes it on this channel almost every single day. We will look at it against the Ontario Rat 1 and the Ontario Rat 2. So you can see, I said it was a large knife. Okay, for traditional it's large, but you can see it's relatively small. I do like the full length of the blade. You get a blade length of about 3 inches, which I love. The overall length is 6.75. The width of the blade is about 3/4 of an inch, and it's about 100 thousandths wide here. So, I think it's got pretty good specs. Big clip point blade out here that I really, really like. It is in D2 steel, and bust out the Blade HQ steel guide, and you can see D2 steel, not a bad steel. It is a budget steel now. 10 years ago it would have been a premium steel, but it's not anymore. Ease of sharpening, it scores about a 3. I really don't have much trouble sharpening D2 on the KME sharpening system that I use and the stones that I use for it. It's got a relatively good edge retention, which is why it was such a good steel back in the day, because it held an edge for a pretty good long amount of time, and it's relatively tough. The only thing is it's not very corrosion resistant, so you do have to take care of it. Give it a little bit of oil every now and again, a little bit of love, and it will do you just fine. The back lock is easy to manipulate. It's not crazy hard or anything, and it doesn't need a half stop, but I like the fact that it has one. It stops right there, closes up nicely. Really, really great. And I love the fact that I can just kind of open it up with one hand too, and I don't have to really, use two hands to open it up. That's just kind of my philosophy for EDC knife, is I want to be able to open it and close it with one hand. This one's not the easiest to close with one hand, but I love this knife so much, it definitely makes it in my rotation to carry, and I do love it. I wish I had the lanyard here. I actually ordered a lanyard for this thing. It's not made it in yet, but when it does, I'll make sure to show you guys. But anyway, if you're looking for a traditional style knife, but with modern materials, I highly suggest this thing. This thing runs around, it depends on which variant you get, it runs around $75. The ones with the micarta, I think maybe just a little bit more expensive than the G10, but it's really reasonably priced. I have no problem paying that price. You have other modern traditionals that you can buy right now. The most famous one probably is the Benchmade Proper, and it is more expensive. It is a full micarta handled blade and or knife. And I love micarta. I think it actually looks really good, and I might end up picking one of those up someday. But this right here is definitely scratching my itch for the modern traditionals. It's just a beautiful knife, and I like carrying it. It's a relatively sized handle to where my ham hands, as Kurt on Blade HQ would say, and it fits in pretty well. I mean, I can get a full 4-finger grip on this thing and go to town. Comes really, really sharp. Civivi does a good job of their blade. Look how, look at the finish on it. If I can get the glare off of there. The finish on these things are absolutely wonderful. Civivi is such a great company. It's a Chinese company, guys. I know how we feel about China right now, and China does make some shit. But Civivi and WE knives are very high quality. I have a buddy of mine who has a WE knife that I'm going to be grabbing from him to do a review on in the near future. And this is not the only Civivi that I do own. I own the Civivi Hooligan, which does have micarta handles as well in D2 steel. It's a liner lock, and I do like this knife. This one hasn't gotten a whole lot of pocket time because of everything else that I've been carrying and reviewing. But anyway, I do like the brand Civivi. If you're not familiar with them, check them out. Blade HQ has a lot of videos on Civivi and WE knives that are really great. They have some very premium stuff. So anyway, if you like this video, if you have any questions about this knife, leave me a comment. Let me know. You have any knives that you would like to see on this channel, hit me up. I have access to a bunch of stuff, and I will get it on the channel for you guys. If you like this kind of content, man, help me out. Hit the subscribe button, and we will see you in the next one.